Lynn Scarbrough with the Lindy Sports, Lindy's football magazine available, previewing the college football season. Looks like we're going to have one. And Lynn Scarbrough is with us now here on the Williams Tractor Hotline on Ruskin and Zach. Good afternoon, Lynn. How you doing?
Doing good, Zach. Derek, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, good to talk with you. I don't think I've seen you since maybe at the Reynolds Razorback press box back during the last football season. Of course, at Media Days last summer, saw you there. Hey, are we going to have Media Days?
I don't know. They haven't said yet. I can't imagine that we are. But
This feels like one giant Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
One small Zoom meeting is bad enough, much less having a 1,200-member Zoom meeting. I don't know. Of course, I don't know how y'all felt about it when it was in Atlanta last time, but I wasn't too wild about it, and I didn't talk to anybody that was. So, maybe they'll move it somewhere else, or I don't know how to do it. Maybe, do it as a, online type deal. I don't know.
Well, it's all about now being convenient for the SEC network. They don't care about any of the writers in the room there. I mean, and haven't for some time, honestly. It's all about having that backdrop for the SEC Now set and all those guys.
No, you're right. And of course, last time it was over in Atlanta, it was at the SEC. It's the College Football Hall of Fame, which was pretty erect during the riot. So I haven't even talked to anybody to know if the facility is fixed back to where we could have it there.
Yeah.
If they wanted to, I still wish they'd move it back to Birmingham. It's more convenient for the conference. It's where the conference is. But anyhow, if they have it, I guess we'll see each other there. And if not, I guess we won't.
I guess so, yeah. Hey, I saw some discussion today on one of the sites or one of the writers talking about Felipe Franks. And we've asked everybody coming through here during the summertime, just what's your opinion on Felipe Franks? It's probably, unless there's some kind of upset, is going to be the starter game one for Arkansas this year.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great move. And in fact, I'll just be honest with you, I'm excited about y'all's offense this year. Y'all's offense is not going to get the credit that it's due, and I think Felipe Franks could be the missing element. Although I really thought he had a couple of freshman redshirted quarterbacks last year that might have been as good as the guys that y'all were playing, and they didn't play. But of course, I've covered Felipe Franks and the fact that he's done what he's done at Florida. His record at Florida was good. He got hurt. If he hadn't gotten hurt, I think he'd have stayed the starter at Florida, and he wouldn't be at Arkansas. But I think he's going to be the thing that makes a big difference with y'all. I'm big on Arkansas's offense because I think Raheem Boyd is excellent. We've got him second team All ACC in a year that's got good running backs in the SEC. I really like your wide receivers. I know the wide receiver attention goes to Alabama and goes to LSU and somewhat to Auburn, and it should because all three of those teams have great wide receivers. But hey, you got three guys with I really like Traylon Burks, and the other two guys you got three really good starters at wide receiver, and none of them are seniors. And then is Hudson Henry? Is he Hunter Henry's brother?
He is. Yep.
Yes, I see. And so there's your great story right there. You bring a guy in from Florida that's had a great experience there. You bring in Hunter Henry's brother, who's Hunter Henry was All-American tight end. You got three really good wide receivers in Raheem Boyd. Well, the only thing that you lack out of that I'm not talking about is the offensive line. And I know it wasn't great guns last year, but Sam Pittman was the offensive line coach when I think I covered a game up there when I had to tilt to the left because the Arkansas offensive line made the field go sideways, and that's not much off the truth. And so Sam Pittman's a guy that everywhere he's gone has had effective offensive lines. And now he may not have the material this year, but let him recruit a little bit. I'm excited about what your offense could be. I'm not a whole lot excited about a defense that in its last 5 ball games, other than the Missouri game at the end, they gave up 40. I think 45 was the lowest. They gave up over 50 to Auburn, Mississippi State, and LSU. And you can have the best offense in the world, but if you score 50 and the other team scores 51, you lose all your games.
So if I'm here.
And so that's sort of my initial, just looking at it.
If I'm hearing you correctly, the pieces are there on offense for Arkansas to put points on the board. This was these guys, minus Felipe Franks last year, these guys were here. Kendall Briles makes that big a difference in putting points on the board with that group of talent.
Well, I think so. I think he might. Yeah, I do. I think so. And I just think it's a different atmosphere there. And I don't mean anything bad toward Chad Morris because I'll be covering Chad Morris this year. Your audience probably knows. No, Derek does. I primarily cover Auburn. And I think Chad Marsh is in a good situation being the offensive coordinator for Gus. But yeah, I think Kendall Browse is picking up some good people. I just named them. I think Arkansas's skill people are among the best in the SEC. I don't want to get ridiculous about it. I mean, you got some other schools that are mighty good. We got, I think, 5 teams from the SEC picked in like the top 12 or something. And unfortunately for Arkansas, 4 of those are in the Arkansas's division. But on the offensive side, it's hard to find a team that's got a whole lot better skill people than what Arkansas is going to put on the field. But the defense, the offense for these other teams goes up against Arkansas's defense. Arkansas's offense has to go up against the defense of Alabama and LSU and Auburn and so on. But with that being said, guys, those teams lost a lot of people. Now, of course, when you have really high recruiting classes, you're going to have good guys come in and take their place. Well, would you rather have an inexperienced All-American freshman, or would you rather have juniors and seniors that have been around 2 or 3 years? And I'd rather have the juniors and seniors. And LSU lost like 14, 15 people got drafted. Alabama had 12 to 14. Auburn lost Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson, two of the best defensive tackles that's ever been on the same team in the SEC ever. And you lost a lot of folks. Now, on the flip side of that, in our magazines we name the top units. We call them the unit picks. In other words, we'll have the top backfield, the top receivers, and the top offensive line. And then on the defensive side, we'll have the top defensive line, the top linebackers, and the top defensive backs. Well, the top defensive backs this year, according to our experts, is LSU number 1, and I think Georgia number 2. The top linebackers, this is national now. Top linebackers is Auburn number 1, and I think LSU may be number 2. We have Alabama, the number 2 defensive line in the country, and it's tough when you're in the Western Division of the SEC and you've got 3 or 4 teams ahead of you that are doing nothing. They're not getting bad. Then you can really have a lot out there, and you can lose 6 or 7 games when you're in the Western Division of the SEC and still in the big picture have a pretty decent team.
No.
But so you play, and then when you got to go to Notre Dame and play Notre Dame, and we've got Notre Dame picked in the top 10 in the country, and Ian Book came back for his senior year just because he thought Notre Dame was going to be good and he wanted to be part of it.
No.
Now we might have them overrated, as folks often overrate Notre Dame and then they fall on their face and don't make it look good.
You're killing me, Lynn.
Right. You're right, Lynn. Amen, Lynn.
You're killing me.
Well,
Lynn.
I mean, we're right in there with them. We got a history of that. I mean, we probably picked. I'd have to go back and check, but I bet in the last 10 years we picked Notre Dame in the top 20, probably 3 or 4 times. They made it. I think they made it once. They had that year when the All-American guy had the fictitious girlfriend, and you remember that one?
Yes.
And they got their brains beat out. And then they had that game when they made the Final Four 3 or 4 years ago, and I think Clemson beat them about 40-0. I think maybe 30 something to nothing.
Yeah.
And so we've got them picked up there. But with that being said, that's a heck of a place to go. Hey, Arkansas fans listening to us, man, you need to make a trip to go up there. I've been doing this for decades. I've never gotten to cover a game at Notre Dame.
Yeah,
and I would love to be able to go to a game at Notre Dame. So even if you think you may lose the game, which I'd be an idiot to tell you I think Arkansas is going to go up there and win, but just for the experience, man, you ought to go to Notre Dame and see that. But I can see 4 to 6 wins for Arkansas. And I know that's going to make me sound like an idiot.
4 to 6.
And we don't have Arkansas picked high, but I could see Arkansas winning that many ball games.
Lynn Scarbrough from Lindy Sports is with us here on Ruskin and Zach. A little backstory, Lynn. Zach is a Notre Dame fan, so for you to come in here and talk about Notre Dame being overrated a lot, you are welcome back anytime here on Ruskin and Zach. I'll tell you right now.
It's like walking into my living room and punching me in the face. Thanks, Lynn.
It was great.
Well, hey, Zach, I did not know you were the Notre Dame fan. But look, it's like I tell, I'm an Auburn journalism graduate and went to Alabama law school.
What happened?
How
do you do that?
I've got an alumni card. Look, in my heart, I'm an Auburn guy. My daddy played football for Shug Jordan at Auburn.
Okay.
And so it comes honestly. And I'm from state of Alabama, so that's that's where I'm from. I've lived most of my life here. But when those teams do bad, I write that they do bad. They don't pay me to pump people up. They pay me to try to tell the truth the best I see it. So unfortunately, that's the way I saw it with Notre Dame.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of texts right now applauding your punching my Fighting Irish in the face. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you.
So, Lynn, you think they could win as many as 6 games this year?
I'm going to tell you that I doubt it, but yes, I think they could. I'll run down it for you.
Okay.
Hold on. Nevada, they could beat Nevada.
Okay.
They go to Mississippi State. They got a new coach. They got the quarterback from Stanford, which is Costello, and he's going to be very familiar with the coach at Washington State. So he knows what he's getting into there. But this is not a powerhouse Mississippi State team. They lost a lot. They weren't that great last year. You play Charleston Southern. I'll be very surprised if they don't win that. And I understand I'm saying that with some of the games that Arkansas lost last year. But I'll be surprised if we get a repeat of that. I certainly think you got a good shot to beat Louisiana Monroe. You get Ole Miss at home. Once again, I know they've got the flashy new coach and all of that, but on paper at least, Ole Miss and Mississippi State do not tremendously outclass Arkansas. I wish Arkansas, from their standpoint, I wish they played Vanderbilt, because I do think they beat Vanderbilt. But I've named you 4 or 5 right there. Now here's the deal: if they could win one of the games I'm going to say here, you've got a killer schedule starting October the 10th. You play Alabama at home, LSU at home, and improved Tennessee at home, and you go on the road to Auburn. And I can't see Arkansas winning any of those 4 ball games. Mm-hmm. But if Arkansas could steal one of them, let's say you steal Tennessee at home, then you actually are looking at, if everything fell right, you might qualify for a bowl game with 6 wins. If that could happen, I'm going to tell you, I don't think it will. But if that could happen, that would be what a great start for Sam Pittman. And of course, I've got a lot of friends in Arkansas. Andy Hodges and I. And by the way, appreciate Andy putting me in touch with y'all for the radio network and to be on with today. But Andy and I talked about it when Sam Pittman came, and talked about it. In fact, Andy called me for us to talk about Coach Pittman before actually it was even announced. And it's important, and I don't mean this bad toward Brett Bielema. I don't mean it bad toward Chad Morris, but it's important that somebody is where they want to be, whether it's a coach or it's a player. And a lot of times you'll say, oh, well, we only got a 3-star player. We couldn't get that 5-star player. Well, if that 5-star player didn't want to be where you are, and you got a 3-star player whose heart is there, then there's not that much difference between it. And so in Coach Pittman, because I remember when he was your line coach, and he was well liked up there then. And I can tell you, Georgia people are not excited that he's gone. So if you got a coach that's solid, that's experienced, and he's been there, he's where he wants to be. If you're looking and saying, okay, the thing we need the most is to be helping the line, and you got a guy that can come in and say, look at the lineman I've already put here, give him a couple of years to get recruited and have folks solid, and have these sophomores and juniors I was talking about not leave early. A couple of years, he got a pretty powerhouse team out there. And but his problem is he's still going to be playing every year: Texas A&M, Alabama, Auburn, and LSU. Yeah. And that's assuming that the Pirate and I don't know what nickname to give the Ole Miss coach. Let's say that they come in and do pick things up like they have done at other schools. Then Arkansas could be moving in the right direction and still, be behind, because they play in the toughest division in college since 2010. Let's say the 10 years that were 2010 to 2019. You had 3 schools from that division play for the national championship more than once. I mean, Auburn played for 2, LSU played for 2, Alabama played for, I think, 5. One time Alabama played LSU. One time Alabama played Georgia. I mean, so you're talking the conference and even the division they're in. When you're playing in a division where multiple teams have played for the national championship multiple times in the last decade, guys, it's hard to expect somebody to come up and in a short period of time get to the top of that heap. And but I do think Sam Pittman's a great choice to do that. And I like, because of what I think I'm right on Arkansas's skill positions on offense. There's, if they can just stay close in the ball game and their defenses aren't giving up 40 and 50 points, keep the offense close, and give them a chance to pull it out with a big play or to hang in there with it. And win a couple of surprise games. You might go to a bowl game. You know, if somebody was making me bet, I'd bet that Arkansas wins 4. But I think qualifying for a bowl is an outside shot.
Outside of the four borders of the state of Arkansas, I mean, there wasn't a lot of noise about the Sam Pittman hire. I think we've sort of witnessed him through, this pandemic and all of this, and seen him sort of make all the right moves. What's the perception? You mentioned that the folks at Georgia weren't happy that he's gone. What's the perception of Sam Pittman outside the state of Arkansas?
I don't think there is one. And I really don't, because I think he got a big advantage on this, because it was so much prominence was given to Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Those two hires came within a week of each other, and both coaches, you could call them flamboyant, controversial, whatever you wanted to do. They soaked up all the headlines, so that Coach Pittman got to come in. Hey, I liked Coach Pittman's speech. I saw when he left Georgia what he had to say, and then I saw, he really kind of got emotional. He said, or it seemed to me, I wasn't there. Y'all probably were. I talked to Andy about it later too. And he seemed kind of emotional to me that he's getting to come back to Arkansas, and he kind of got, I don't know if they teared up or whatever about it. But I saw when he left Georgia, he was talking about the offense he'd had there, and I don't have it in front of me. I'm kind of paraphrasing him, but basically he said, I like an offense that's got a tight end and 3 wideouts, and that things are going more toward a run-pass option. And if I've got the personnel that could do it, that's a attractive thing. Well, if the run is Felipe Franks and Boyd, and the pass is the 3 wide receivers you've got and the young Henry, that pretty well covers the run and pass option. Yeah. And if you can just give the quarterback a little time, if your offensive line will do the job. But again, you're going to do it up against Notre Dame and Alabama and Auburn and LSU, and you're going up against some of the best teams in the country.
Yeah. Lynn Scarbrough, Lindy Sports, the Lindy's College Football Preview Magazine, available now. Lynn, thanks so much for the time. It's good to catch up. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, let's do it more often.
Yes, sir.
All right. Lynn and all our guests join us here on the Williams Tractor Hotline.
Cross him up.